Hello, welcome! Today we will compare one card in the Marseille Tarot system, Crowley's Thoth Tarot, the Rider-Waite Tarot, and my personal favorite, the mixed system of the Gill Tarot. We will briefly go over the meanings, as my main goal is to highlight the differences and similarities in the approaches and interpretations. I already have a video on the same topic about the Two of Wands, but it's in Russian unfortunately, so I can't leave a link in the description for you. But hopefully in the future we will figure it out somehow. Let's start with the Marseille Tarot deck, as it is the most basic, not burdened by Kabbalah and astrology. And here, in this system, as we all know, there is no author who explains the meaning of the cards, as we have with the Waite and Crowley's deck. In the Marseille Tarot, we derive the meaning of the card from its number and suit. So let's try to do that right now. The suit of swords is the suit of warriors. It represents aggression, determination, and the struggle with difficulties. And here they have the 6. The meaning of the numbered cards in the Marseille Tarot is derived not only from the number itself, but also from the corresponding major arcana. 6s are associated with the Lovers and the Tower. Choice and destruction, which is the Tower. Plus we have swords. Quite a fun combination ahead. Some people also consider the color of the elements on the card, but I think this is an incorrect approach. This is because the deck was originally created for gameplay, for a game, and each publisher would change the colors to attract attention to their version of the deck. Plus, publishers of that time were quite limited in their color choices due to technical constraints. Nowadays, any color is available and costs about the same regardless of the hue. So I believe that the color used for elements in your Marseille deck do not play any significant role. You may agree with me or you may not. In contrast, in the decks of the English school, which we will discuss later, color already had a specific meaning intentionally embedded in it. For example, green is the color of Venus, for example. So let's get back to the matter at hand. Swords are the suit of warriors, but the sword is also considered as a symbol of the word, which separates truth from illusion and deception. Thus, we know that the action of the Six of Swords takes place in the realm of problems and obstacles, but also in the realm of mind and intellect. Numerologically, 6s are considered harmonious. You can read about the symbolism of the number 6 on your own and derive our other meanings that are closer to you. I will briefly explain what this number means to me. I see the 6 as two triangles, two vectors of development, two processes working together. If we combine the suit of swords with the number, we can get a very simple meaning: agreement, consensus. Two vectors, two processes working together in the realm of words and intellect. Or it can be simply a pleasant and understandable person with whom it is easy to agree, converse, and understand each other. The same two triangles can be seen as my plans and the plans of the universe aligning. This represents correct and appropriate thinking, taking into account reality and other people. But if we remember the connection of the Six of Swords with the Lovers and the Tower, we understand that this card always involves a choice and the destruction of the outdated and inappropriate things. There may be some external force, the Tower, forcibly steering the process. The card can also indicate that something has happened, causing a shift in a person's worldview, focusing them to make a choice and start acting differently. This means that the person has realized something, stopped believing their previous thoughts, and now faces the decision of what to do next. I see this card's task as to determine a course of action in light of newly revealed facts. Some interpret the card's image as boundaries and constraints within which a person can safely act and make decisions. This also aligns with the major arcana. The Tower represents these limitations, the stripping away of the unnecessary imagined by our mind, the breakdown of opportunities we hoped we had. The Lovers signify making decisions within the available territory. I want to remind you that the Marseille Tarot has no author and no fixed meanings. You can play with them, experiment, and see what works for you in practice. For me, this card mainly represents cooperation, agreement, and mutual understanding. It also involves self-awareness, the alignment of the mind with the external world, and adequacy. Now, let's move on to Crowley's deck. In this system, we consider everything previously mentioned about the Marseille Six of Swords plus Kabbalah plus astrology plus Crowley's own teachings and worldview. This card is called Science. Sixes in Kabbalah also represent harmony, as they correspond to Tiferet. The meaning of the card can be like advanced intellect, for example. This intellect considers all factors, studies them, has an evidence base, and arrives at the correct, harmonious solution. Mercury in Aquarius, which corresponds to this card, also speaks to us about the mind, its flexibility, forward-looking nature, and the ability to find progressive solutions to situations. In the Thoth Tarot, or Thoth Tarot, as you may have noticed, there are no echoes of the Tower or the Lovers. This is purely a competent mind applied to practice. However, there is still the discovery of truth and the attainment of a great idea, which also resonates with the Marseille Tarot. Next, here in Rider-Waite Tarot, we consider the suit, the number, Kabbalah, astrology, and of course the illustration. The narrative minor arcana are the main distinguishing feature of this deck, aside from its author's religiosity and Christian orientation. Most often, this card is read as living a situation, a journey, or travel. And I really don't agree with this meaning. I think this is because Waite did not particularly worry about the explaining and revealing his esoteric knowledge to everyone. So he depicted the card with a purely divinatory meaning of the long journey, which I believe migrated from the Six of Spades in playing cards. But he illustrated it with a twist, as usual. Let's talk about this twist. The Kabbalistic and astrological correspondences for this card are the same as those in Crowley's Tarot deck. It would be foolish to ignore the foundational elements that Waite tried so hard to keep hidden from the uninitiated and to read only the image. I won't delve into the notion that Waite, as some believe, hid the symbol of Aquarius here in the corner in these waves. Many of his cards contain hints about what he was so afraid to speak of directly. But I want to draw your attention to the people on this card. If we approach the illustration not as a literal depiction of something like traveling by water, but as a metaphor, then the man usually represents the conscious mind, the woman the subconscious, and the child represents the new, the fruit of their interaction. Waite used such metaphors quite obviously, as seen in the Lover's card, for example. There, the man representing the conscious mind, looking lovingly at the woman, the subconscious, who in turn has some connections with higher forces as she looks at the angel. So, the Six of Swords in the Waite deck, as I believe, does not speak of any departure, but rather the same advanced intellect, simply illustrated metaphorically. It's still about the harmonious interaction of the two triangles from Marseille Tarot, and it's a situation where the conscious mind controls the situation, understands what is happening, knows the shoals and currents along the way, and steers the other parts of our personality towards new shores. There is already a new solution to the problem or situation, the child. The subconscious, with its fears, hopes, and anxieties, also sits calmly and allows itself to be guided. The conscious mind draws towards a brighter future. In the Gill Tarot, the Six of Swords is called change. Firstly, in the center, we see a shining sun corresponding to Tiferet, which also symbolizes clarity and awareness. We can see swords, some of which dissolve under the rays of this sun. This suggests that our mind and worldview are changing, with old perspectives fading away in the light of clarity. This represents a shift in viewpoints, innovations, inventiveness, and the ability to think outside the conventional frameworks. The deck's author writes that the dissolving swords symbolize the melting away of a personal will and the acceptance of the principle thy will be done, I guess, if I translated this correctly. Remember, in the Marseille Tarot, we talked about the harmony between the plan and the universe's plan. So here are the echoes of that harmony. The harmony of my mind and the plans of the cosmos. Interestingly, this dissolution of the swords also fits with the Tower card. So the change indicated by this card is related to receiving new information and accepting reality as it is. It is associated with new understandings and new conclusions. And as you can see, despite the card's unconventional and novel appearances, its meaning remains consistent. There is much more to say about the meanings and symbols of the Six of Swords in different decks, but I promised a quick overview and intend to stick to that plan. Also, my mouth is quite tired because of speaking English, so I have to stop now. Perhaps I will make more detailed videos about each card in the future. It's been on my to-do list for a while, but as usually there is something else that comes up. So please like the video if you enjoyed it. Sorry for my English. Without your feedback, likes and comments, it's hard to stay motivated to make new videos. Sometimes it feels like who really needs this? So if you find this information useful and a little bit valuable, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. And I will keep sharing interesting insights with you.